Welcome! You caught me on my 5-minute break. I've got to get one of these breaks every day because we're so busy up here in the North Pole. And it's really nice to see that you stopped in. Well, as you know, Santa's favorite hobby is dealing with coins. As an old numismatist, I spend a little bit of time. Mrs. Claus doesn't mind. And today, I'm working on Canadian nickels. Now, Canadian nickels are quite fascinating. I mean, they've been around since 1858, and they're quite diverse. I mean, from 1858 to 1921, they had little tiny silver coins for the nickels. They were referred to as fish scales. They were that small. And during that time, of course, it went through Queen Victoria. Remember, I mentioned her before. She was there from 1858 to 1901. And with her, she used to have what's called a queen's crown on her head. And eventually, when it changed to her son, which King Edward VII, he had a king's crown, which was a slightly different one. And they kept that king's crown until 1952 on the obverse side on the king's head. He was king from 1902 to 1910. And then after that, King George IV from 1911 to 1921. At 1921, the coins got larger, and they were no longer made of silver. Now, in my case, I keep my coins in a handy little album. These are my newer ones. These are the ones from 1953 onwards, and as you can see, they're very handy to have. Very nice for display, and you can spend some time looking at them or showing other people. And then, of course, you've got the older ones, which, like I say, it started in 1858, and you can see. I'll show you a little bit right here in a close-up. They're very small, very small. And in 1922, it went to a much larger nickel, which was basically the size that they maintained right through till today. I can go into a lot of great detail on them, but there's so many great resources which I will include in my video, so that you can look up for yourself exactly what they are. Should mention, in 1937, King George VI didn't like having a crown on his head, so he stopped it. So on his nickels, you're going to find that he doesn't wear a crown. Then after like that, King George VI, and then onwards to Queen Elizabeth, who in 1952 became queen, and she originally did not wear a crown in honor of her father, and that went straight on through till today. But she did end up wearing a tiara and a crown, and the current nickel is she doesn't have anything on her head. During 43 and 1944, the nickels had a V on it for victory, and they're quite an interesting one. There's only one that I can think of was 1951 that was a commemorative that was quite nice, that you could actually take a look at. So there are many variations over the years, all kinds of little things, everything from having different leaves, whether they're pointed or blunt. They had ones that where you had less leaves on the coin. Those are subtle things that you have to look for as a coin collector in order to complete your collection and make it so that it's as accurate as possible. And they also had times when they had 12 sides on the coin, and then they went to the round, and they have things like small and large beads, which are little dots that you can see around the edge of the coin. There are so many variations, as I said, and even looking for things like logos and whatnot. Those are all things that you can look at. So again, I'm not going to go into, there's too much detail to tell you all in just a few minutes, but I would recommend that you take a look at some of the links that I'm providing for you so that you can check in it and learn a little bit about the nickels, because Canadian nickels are a very, very interesting thing to collect, and there's a lot of them, and especially if you work backwards, they're not very expensive. Usually it's face value, and you can build up the newer ones quite quickly, and eventually you can work on getting some of the older ones, which you probably have to purchase or have someone give to you. So it's something that you can look forward to doing. Great thing to get for Christmas for a numismatist or a budding coin collector. So consider looking at Canadian nickels is one of the sets that you can look at and have a lot of fun with. Now I got to get back to work here. My elves are just what in the world what were you doing over there? Are you imitating me? Nice one there, Leo. Okay, that's cute. All right, they want my job. Anyway, I want you to have a wonderful day. I know everything's being prepared for Christmas. We're working on it. And I'm sure in your own home, you're trying to get things going and as organized as possible. So I fully understand. So be well and know that you're loved. Merry Christmas. Love you all. Take care.